Hello everybody and welcome to GuildGab. This is a show all about Guild Wars 2. This is episode 72 and today we're going to be doing a little community Q&A and discussion. After we talk about a couple quick points, there's a sale in this gem store every single day in March this month. The new known issue tracker has been made public. You can go and check out all of the known issues in the game and where they are in resolving them. And some other discussion topics that we will go into. But first, let me introduce my awesome co-hosts, MMOINKS, Alex at the RPG Shack, and the one and only Corvus Plays. It's a full cast today.
What's going on?
Yes. TGIF. Once again.
Yeah, definitely. This has been a really long week, and thank God it's over.
And ending it with GuildGab.
Yeah.
So let's talk about these sales. Every single day in March, there is a gem store sale. And sale meaning either an item is actually on sale, like 20% off is usually the going price that it's been so far, or an old item that it was not currently available in the store has come back for 24 hours.
Sale.
And it's up for sale. It's not actually a discounted price.
For sale.
Right.
Yeah.
And we've seen this before, though. We know that when ArenaNet brings back an item, that item's not usually at a discounted price. Yeah. So.
Yeah. I mean, what have we got today? We've got Magnus's eye patch, and I think we've got the Brahmin Rocks tribute skins as well.
And the Glint's masks.
The
few of them.
All three colors are available today.
Yeah, colors. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and those are like on sale, like 20% off or whatever.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And yesterday was like Scarlet shoulders and gloves. And we had some mining tools on sale, the laser guns.
So, and those were on sale.
We've talked about this a lot on GuildGab. Myself, I can be a little bit hard on ArenaNet for not putting more things on sale. So, like, when they said this, I was like, yes, finally, this is what I want to see, right? And don't get me wrong, like, every day I'm not going to be interested or spending money in every single item that comes up. But it's nice to know, it doesn't have to be, like, when we talk about it, I don't expect it every day, but they have changed to this model where Tuesday, of course, you always see something in the gem store, and lately they've gotten really good about, like, the weekends, they were doing, like, weekend sales, which I think is great. And now for March, they have, like, a sale every day, a different item that they're bringing back or whatever. And so far, like, people seem to be pretty happy with either the sale prices or the items that they're bringing back, things that they missed or whatever. And so it's always nice to see, these sorts of things come back and happen in the game.
Yeah. I remember back when, I think when they did one of these kind of things last time, one of the things that I really kind of was sad I missed out on was Marjorie's weapon skins, the dagger and the axe. And I think they finally came back in it's probably about a year ago I had them. And so I know you're talking about the mining tools. There's a quick question here in chat about how they actually work. So if you buy one mining tool at a discounted price, you have one copy of that item, so you can put it on one character of your choice. Now, all the mining tools are account bound, so you can take them off that character and switch them around, which is good. But it's so if you actually only need one complete set if you can deal with a little bit of swapping bits and pieces around in the bank. But yeah, if they're on sale, that's down from the usual 1,000 gems for them, which I've always thought was a little bit steep. But that's just me. But it's what's quite nice about them is that there's a ton of variety about these infinite collecting things. So if you're not that keen on the one that's on sale now, wait a few days and you could get your favorite set might turn up. So
that being said, the best mining tool is the Watchwork mining pick. And the best
It's
sickle,
the only one I have.
and the best sickle is the consortium. I think there's a couple that actually work this way, but the consortium harvesting sickle is one of the best ones because you can actually interrupt its animations so that you can harvest faster than you could with a normal tool.
Oh.
It doesn't give you anything extra. You can just harvest a little faster.
Just I think I've got was the consortium one the first one that sickle that came out. Yeah. I've got that one.
I think the golem in a barrel you can interrupt as well, but I might be wrong on that. But yeah, the consortium is one of the faster sickles in that set. So
yeah,
just some food for thought if you're thinking about buying some of these. You know, those might be the ones you look for.
Yeah, definitely get the watchwork mining pick if you can get it.
That's a good one.
Especially, I mean, we were actually talking about this before we went live, weren't we? Because it actually gives you a chance to get sprockets and I think the occasional blade shard as well, or is that the sprocket generator? Either way.
Well, yeah, it happens from the sprocket generator. You're right.
Yeah. So you can you know, there's I think there's a 20% chance that it'll drop the I'm boring him.
He's like, I've heard all this before.
Well, if we're all going, you know.
The watchwork one is actually the only one that I have, and the reason is that it's the only one that's ever dropped to 500 gems. They had a super half-off sale on it once, and so I was like, well, that's worth it. Like, I think that 1,000 is too much. I think that even 800 is steep for me, being an altaholic. If I had one character and never had to buy another harvesting tool, I would have bought him yet. But having 20 characters, I would like to have the infinite ones on my main. But they've got to be cheaper than 800 maybe someday. Or if they give you something extra like the watchwork one. Unless they drop the clown one to 500, I still won't buy it. I don't want creepy clown noises every time.
I love it.
When I go to Flex Farm and I hear, I'm like, stop! No, this is horrible. Get my flax and get out.
The animation lasts long enough that you can get 3 or 4 of them off before like they go away. So you can like pop, 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 and they go like all like in unison. It's fantastic.
I think anywhere from 500 to 800 gems is fair. I never like things where you have to buy more gems than you need, if you know what I mean.
The odd
like if
numbers.
something's like 1,000 and you have to end up going 1,600 gems or something, it's kind of just feels a bit But yeah.
You're gonna spend
I'm
eventually.
liking these sales though, and it's something to look forward to, right? Like what's gonna be next, kind of thing. And there's a lot of things people want, like the bunny ears and all of those kind of things that maybe we'll see.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Is there anything in particular that we want to add to our...
What's everybody's wish list for the
aside
sale?
from bunny ears?
Bunny ears, of course.
Thursday the 31st, the last day before April Fool's, I want Super Adventure Box stuff to come on sale. I think that'd be a cool thing for them.
That would be cool.
I want them to bring back the infinite continue coin.
And then everyone's like, oh my god, it's coming back tomorrow, and then nothing. April Fools.
Yes, do it.
You all bought the continue coin.
Yes.
The salt and rage will just overflow from Reddit and explode. They'll crash the servers. They won't be able to handle it.
That would be funny. I'm sorry. I would love
That would
it.
be really funny.
Oh my god.
I don't know what I want to see come back really. There's definitely armor sets and odds and ends that I'm missing. The only thing is like you said, sometimes when they reintroduce some of those things, they just bring them back and they're not necessarily on sale. And I think I'm at a point right now where it would have to be on sale, not just for sale, for me to really want to like buy one of those armor sets or an outfit or something. We haven't really seen like the mail carriers and stuff in a while, so like if they put some of those on sale, I might be enticed to buy something like that.
But they drop Black Lion chests, and they're like I don't know, you can pay less than a gold.
Not all of them.
Well, yeah.
Not yet. So I don't know. Yeah, definitely. There's also like a couple of most of the finishers are now on the trading post or in Black Lion chests, but there's still a couple of finishers. I think like the unicorn the chest where the minstrel pops out and plays his guitar.
Oh, yeah.
If those came back discounted, like there's a couple that I'm missing, so I might be enticed, but
Do you
I don't
have
know.
all the finishers?
yeah, I have all the finishers
Yeah.
except
Oh my God.
for those that like are not part of that like.
I like
that
the
can't
ranking
find.
ones.
Mhm.
Yeah, well, I'm missing a couple of the ranking ones, and I'm missing like the unicorn, for example, or the minstrel guy.
What?
Yeah.
It's the only one I've ever bought.
we're not all as obsessed with rainbows as you used to are. Okay.
Well, because one of like I do like a lot of the
That's right,
finishers, and
Corvus.
I change them a lot.
Unicorns, dude. The unicorns.
But like one of my favorite finishers that I've actually paid money for is the 8-bit nuke.
that one is
See, that's
really
that is
cool.
like the best
see-
finisher as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, I love the 8-bit nuke. So I use that one a lot.
It's so
playing.
big and so as
Yeah,
well as being
ridiculous,
Super
yeah.
Adventure Box.
Llama
It's
is probably my second favorite though, and that plays Super Adventure Box music. Llama dances on your corpse. It's great. It's wonderful. I love it.
collection expander on sale.
Collection expander is my #1 item. I want the collection
There you
expander
go.
to be on sale. I'm gonna buy 4 of them. I'm gonna max it out, and I'll be happy.
Oh yeah, the
Wow, there
capacity
you go,
went up
ArenaNet.
in a
Take
previous
Aurora's
patch, didn't
money.
It did. It goes up to 2,000 now. And every one you buy, it expands it by
Why would you
250.
ever need that though? Like,
Oh my god! Oh, it's glorious!
I
Oh
could
my
probably
gosh!
I could probably use one because I definitely hit the 250 cap. on a
yeah,
lot
I
of
think I could
materials.
use
Yeah.
one max though. I really,
We'll see.
I just don't see. Like,
2,000.
why would you ever need
Oh my
that?
god, it's so nice. It's so nice. You just don't have to worry. Just
It would
put
sort of
everything in
drive
there.
me nuts in some ways because I would try and fill
You want to make
everything up
use
to
of it.
2,000.
Yeah, exactly. You paid the money for
Uh,
2,000 things. You want to fill
You
it
wanna
up.
fill
to
it
get
up.
your money's worth.
But then that's your journey. Fill it up, everything at 2,000.
That's the
That's
end
what-
game.
That's
Yeah.
That's what you want
Game.
to do in Guild Wars is just fill up your inventory.
I want to see a screenshot of that. Somebody who has everything at 2,000. In just
would be
one
amazing to
tab
see.
would be extremely impressive.
the money,
Yeah, I think
Bang.
of the,
the amount of
gold,
money.
dude.
Yeah. Wow. That would be pretty cool. That would be pretty cool.
Or take like a week to sell everything just to list it on the trading post.
I don't know why. I'm always fascinated by screenshots and pictures of people's like bank, the random stuff that they hoard, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A
I've
friend
got
of
some really weird stuff in mine. Just
a friend of mine only collects like ingots, the bricks, like just
Right.
random ones too, but they're all like in specific orders, and he has like 10 stacks of gold bricks and 12 stacks of silver and mithril
Wow.
and whatever. You know what I mean? He doesn't collect any other material. I don't know what it is
Just-
about
just
those
ingots.
ingots.
Huh.
Yeah. Yeah, his personal
Shinies.
bank, like we used to share a personal bank way at the beginning, and I could still go in and like look at it. I mean, I don't touch his bank obviously, but he just has like stacks and stacks of bricks in this bank over
that's
the years.
probably worth a ton of money now. What with the guild halls?
Yeah, I'm sure.
I don't hoard materials. I sell basically everything I get. But my actual like bank storage, I hold on to like, I guess like legacy items like the Spinal Blades blueprint and Scarlet's
Yep.
journal and things like that. I have like
I've
tons of
still got
those like
Scarlet's Journal.
old kind of useless things.
I've still got
but I
Marjorie's
just like
Journal.
Marjorie's journal, the
I still
cutscene with her
have-
and Logan.
That was
Yes,
going to
I
be
still
have
that was
the friggin-
such a cool
I have
thing
some
they could have done.
transmutation stones in there from back when you had to
Why?
the little crystals before the
Oh
transmutation
my god, there's
charges came.
oh, I cannot
I just like
understand
ping
people
them in
who
map
have
chat
those
sometimes.
transmutation stones.
Yeah. But the thing
I
is,
have,
if you've just got the normal ones that don't work on level 80 gear, like, what's the point?
It's just cool
click
to
them.
have. Just
They're
remember
not-
this kind of
it's-
thing. I have the trait reset items as well that you used to be able to get.
What?
To reset
Oh
your traits
my
as well.
God.
I have a bunch of those things. I just like having
Aw.
them just because it's like, you know,
It's
One day
remembering.
we'll
nostalgia.
go
It's
through.
remembering where the game
Yeah,
used to be.
exactly.
Yeah.
That is kind of cool.
Yeah.
One day they're
What
going to
you-
go through and just like wipe out those old items
Yeah.
from
Aw.
the database. And you'll log in and there'll be all these little holes in
Just
your
like,
bank.
oh, suddenly have
It's
loads
like,
of
what happened?
bank space.
Someone said in chat that they actually have the representation buttons from
I know a
Cutthroat
lot of
Politics.
people
Yeah,
who
I
have
yeah.
those buttons.
Those are actually worth a little bit on the trading post now.
Because you get the permanent ones and then there's the temporary ones as well, like the
There's the
single-use
temporary-
ones.
Yeah, there's the single-use ones. You can sell those for a couple of gold, I think. Yeah. So
But then
Yeah,
how
I've-
will I ever say that I voted for Nashblade?
Yeah.
I have to let people know.
Nashblade for life.
Everyone voted for Nashblade. It doesn't matter because it was rigged.
I voted for both of them because I didn't want to, I just wanted to be impartial and fair. So I voted for
Well,
both.
I wanted the achievement, so I definitely voted for both of them.
But Nashblade should have won, guys.
Hashblade should have won. The
I
stolen
started
election.
voting for one of them, and then the Abaddon fractal, and then
Yeah. That was Nashblade.
I watched a guild cast, and they convinced me to vote for the other one.
Oh,
So then the rest of them I
rigged.
voted for the other one.
Can everyone do at Guild Wars 2 hashtag rigged?
Memories. Oh dear.
I'd quite like to see oh god, there was something that I missed and I can't remember what it was. I think it might have been
Forever Lost.
oh no, that was it. I'd like to see a lawless chest piece come in at some point if they could have that on sale, because you can get like the lawless you can get lawless helmets, gloves, boots, shoulders, but there isn't a lawless chest piece.
Well, there's just
That-
There's 3 pieces, right? Helmet, gloves, and boots right now for
Yeah,
lawless. There's
yeah.
no legs,
Shoulders,
chests.
Is there shoulders?
Yeah.
Oh no, this.
Is there
I
shoulders?
can't. I don't think there's shoulders.
Yeah, but
No.
I
don't-
remember really
I'd have to
liking
look.
those bits. It looked a little bit kind of like Star Wars on Tatooine kind of thing, a little bit.
Oh wait, there are shoulders.
there is shoulders.
It's a broken tusk or whatever.
Yeah, I thought there were. But yeah, I'd just like to see a chest piece for that.
Finish the set.
Yeah,
That'd be cool.
I think it'd be cool.
I would like to see the Soul Glider separated from that 2,000 gem package.
Yes, that'd
yeah.
be very nice.
Even for
please,
just
internet.
one day.
Or just discount it
Can you
loads,
imagine?
so it's the same price as just a glider for both.
Can you imagine? Just discounted for one day.
Oh man.
Discount for one day.
know.
What about immortal weapon skins separately? Or oh no, I guess they'd fall into like Black Lion collections, wouldn't they? And
Well, the Immortal Weapon skins are interesting because
They're
you can
there
only
to kind of.
get them from the
Yeah.
2,000 gem packages.
They're there to be this
There's only-
luxury thing.
There's only been 3 packages, so technically you could only have 3 unless you bought a whole bunch of 2,000 gem packages.
you can't. You
Be
can only
really
buy
expensive.
once per account.
Oh,
You
okay,
can only buy
so
'em once. Yeah.
so yeah, you could only have 3 weapons per account. I do see those weapons every once in a while. They're pretty.
I don't think I've
Kind of
ever
rare.
seen one.
I don't.
Shiny.
I've never seen one that I know of.
Yeah.
They should put
They're,
them in as a very rare drop from Black Lion chests for like a month.
That'd be cool.
They'd,
I mean,
they'd
there's
make
really
bank on Black Lion
there's
keys.
not very much incentive to do Black Lion chests these days. I watched
Oh,
a
I'm
video
saving up my
Jebro did
keys.
the other day.
Yeah.
He did 50 keys and there was just nothing. And anything neat like a mail carrier or something, like it sells for nothing, like
Yeah.
a couple silver basically.
Yeah.
I liked it because remember, was it last year or something that they did they brought the Super Adventure Box minis back. I think it was just before April Fool's.
yeah.
Stolen again. But they
Yeah.
like just little things like that. It would be cool if they do it for festivals where you get a little bonus. But like if every month there was
Right.
something new you could get from there, that'd be neat. And give us a
Yes.
reason if we have duplicate
Yes.
minis. I have a million mini Ravens and a million Super Adventure Box minis.
Yes.
I can't do anything with.
Can't
Yeah.
you
Cool
put
to-
a forge?
Even if I could throw a bunch of them in to make another Black Lion key or anything, that'd
Yeah.
be a good thing to do.
Better
a
than
while
nothing.
ago, I don't even remember how long now, but a while ago I made a video on after I opened like 140 chests, I made a video on suggested changes to the Black Lion chests, and some of those things have now since changed, which is amazing. Nothing to do with my video really, but
All to do with your videoings. 100%.
yeah. But yeah, I agree with Corvus. Every month, and we do see changes to the Black Lion chest. It does happen from time to time. But yeah, like every month, switch it up or change it up or remove some of the die kits, put new die kits in, change some of the minis around, whatever. And the minis that you do put in there, like Corvus is saying, like I have extra Super Adventure Box minis, I have extra ravens and birds. Let us just forge them into a basic mini, or give us a
The miniature
mystery
egg thing, you know, the one that gives you.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Perfect.
so that we can open it and maybe get a random mini we don't own or something, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, let us, like the items that are in there, let us forge those minis into something rather than it being like a dead item to us. The mail carriers, like there are special, they're the bird ones that are in there. I don't know, maybe switch those up a little bit, but yeah, some more changes need to happen. I think on a monthly basis would be fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, like some finishers drop from there, and you can sell some of those for like decent money as well. But it's just, it doesn't feel that rewarding. I mean, Jebro, like I said, opened 50 and just it was nothing in there at all, really. And there's just like, you're better off just converting it to gold straight away. Like the gems you'd spend, just there's no way to make money. There's not really that many cool things that are worth the money into it. Even if you do get something like a finisher or a mail carrier or something like that, you could just buy that for basically nothing off the trading post anyway. So it's just not really worth it.
Now, I mean, obviously, at the rate Black Lion weapon sets come out, they're obviously making bank from Black Lion keys. They wouldn't be coming out with a new set every other week if they weren't. If they weren't profitable for them. So they obviously are. But there's people like myself, I would never buy Black Lion keys for the chance at getting a ticket. I would rather just save my in-game gold, and if I really want a skin, then go buy it for 80, 100 gold on the trading post. So there needs to be that extra, I think if they put that extra incentive, I think that monthly, putting some rare bonus items like a mini set or a weapon set or something very rare, but you could get it into the Black Lion chest is a brilliant idea and would incentivize some of those people. People are set in their ways. People are set in their ways that, there's people who won't buy Black Lion keys to get the Black Lion weapon sets. So put some new incentive in there. And it doesn't have to be new items. Like you said, it could be old minis, old items, the Bolton jetpack, like make it like a precursor drop.
If they added that into Black Lion chest, that'd be amazing.
So it'd be great because then we could finally get it, but it'd just kind of like completely defeat the purpose of the point. And the thing is, then if they actually did something like that, that would present a much wider and a much more serious issue to the game, because previously it's been a reward that you can get through playing the game, and I think that's a very, very fine line between content that you can pay for cosmetic things, but something that you could earn in the game that doesn't give you a stat bonus or whatever.
Wasn't it a few months ago they were supposed to like up the drop rate of keys, like kind of in the water?
They did.
I've not had a Black Lion key drop
maybe once.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, you can still kind of key farm, right? It's like once a week or something.
Yeah,
I
I try and do that every single week, and I've just been saving them.
And there's PvP tracks. The one-time PvP tracks all give you a key.
But that's
so there are ways to get some keys in the game without paying for them. And some people are very good at saving those keys, like Aurora, and some people are very good at spending those keys, like myself. So, but if I knew every month that the Black Lion chest was going to get updated, then I would be better at like saving the keys that I do get for like, okay, this month I don't like whatever they're offering. That's fine. I'll wait till next month, and hopefully, something will entice me to open, and hopefully I get lucky. It's still RNG at the end of the day. And I think that's the biggest detraction from things. Most people are just too smart not to fall for the RNG trap.
Yeah. Well, I'm not. I like to think I am, but I'm not.
Yeah, I totally have, and clearly not, because I've bought die packs and chests.
Yeah. It's great. We all sit here going, we're kind of over the gem store, and then, oh my god, there's something with hearts on it. I gotta have it. And the rest of us just go, no, yeah.
What's an interesting thing that I've seen other gem stores do, or in-game stores do, is that when they introduce, not every new item, some items go directly into the gem store and you can buy it right away. But sometimes what they do is they will put a brand new item that is not available anywhere else in game. And I know that some people will hate this, but they put that item into the chest. There are little RNG chests that they try and make money off of. And they leave it in there for a month or 2 months, something like that. And when they're done, after 2 months or so, Then they take it out of the chest and they put it on the gem
Put it
store
on,
and say,
it's the
now
same
you can
thing.
buy it directly for however
See,
much they
I
decide to
think
charge.
that's ridiculous. No, it absolutely is. I'd have more respect for them if they said, right, you've been able to buy whatever and get a chance to win this. I'd have more respect for them if they said, right, we're going to put it behind this high-end content in the game. Where they said, now you
Well,
have a chance
absolutely,
to,
yeah.
well, you have
I
a chance
mean,
to earn it.
So we talked about this a little bit as well, right? About the number of Black Lion weapon skins that we've seen since the release of Heart of Thorns and how many there have been. And I definitely feel like one of those sets, some people will say more, but I definitely feel like at least one of those sets could have been a set offered in the game behind some sort of content. And that definitely should be a thing. But we're talking about, certain cosmetic items that you just don't see available in game. Mail carriers, for example, gliders, which should really be available in the game, at least in some form, but haven't been so far. I definitely think there could be these one-off items that fall into that category. And like I said, I know that's not going to be an overly popular thing, and really smart people will just wait for it to appear in the gem store and not gamble. But if you want to sell RNG boxes to people, you have to entice them some way into buying them. And currently, it's pretty unenticing in general.
Yeah. Jebro's actually in chat right now, and he said, I didn't watch the 50 opening 50 boxes video, but he said he didn't even get one whole ticket from
Out
50
of
boxes.
50 keys.
50, yeah.
When
Yeah, you got a few scraps, but no actual.
Hang on a minute,
straight-up
when-
ticket.
That's pretty
when the
bad.
drop rate was changed, they said that when the patch notes went up, there was a dev post or something that say that the drop rate was of scraps was now between 40 and 50%.
Scraps drop fair. I mean, you're going to get a lot
That
of
sounds about
scraps.
right. Yeah.
I mean,
You just never got a full ticket drop. You'd think with 50
Oh, I see.
50 keys, right?
I thought he
I'd get
didn't
a
even
full
get 10
ticket.
scraps.
right. So I thought you were making not 10 scraps. I mean, that
Okay,
would've
I
been-
could see not getting a full
think it was
ticket. Yeah, full
17
tickets are
scraps.
rare.
Yeah.
Full tickets are rare, but okay.
Yeah.
17 scraps for 50
still,
That's
keys?
about
in-
40 to 50%. Like it's
Still, in
not too
50
bad.
boxes, not
For
getting a full
percentage.
ticket, like not seeing
It's
an actual full ticket, kind of stinks.
I mean, that's pretty crazy. Like I would expect one. I mean, think of how much money that is. How much is
Well, yeah,
25
by the way,
keys?
25 keys, I don't even know.
What,
many
20,
gems is that?
25
25
bucks?
keys is like 2,000 gems, is it?
Is it
No.
2000?
I don't know.
So
if I
that's
meant-
like 40 bucks worth of gems spent on keys, and he didn't even get one full ticket. Like
That's
I mean,
RNG though. He could have gotten
guess,
every box
but
he
it just-
opened could have had a full ticket in it. Technically, it's
true.
But that's
you're
but like
you're
you said,
gambling.
that,
It's gambling, pure and simple.
that's the nature of the beast.
Right.
Yeah.
I just think there needs to be that extra incentive in there. Like, I actually regret not opening them back when they had the Super Adventure Box minis in there for a month. Like, everybody went crazy for like that month. It was
Yeah,
like,
I
oh
did.
my god, the Super Adventure Box minis. Right now, like, I've been doing my key farm. I've been collecting keys in my bank. I have like maybe 35, and there's zero incentive to open them. Like, I don't like the boxes. They're just sitting there. Opening the boxes doesn't entice me at all because they
Right.
haven't changed. There's nothing new in them. Like, am I going to be excited to get this new item? This I need the shine. I need to know I'm going to get the shinies. I need shinies.
This is another interesting thing. Has anyone ever, since the new daily login rewards come, have you ever got a key from the Black Lion goods box on like day 4 or 5?
No.
whatever?
I don't think so.
My wife has once. I have never.
I don't
She's
think
seen
I
one.
have.
I've
I
never
didn't even
had-
know they could drop.
She, actually,
Most of the
she's
time
seen one,
it's
like
salvage
it's
kits.
funny you say that because
Honestly.
she's seen one like a week ago for the first time ever.
Oh wow.
Yeah. It's pretty.
And you can also
obviously
get
pretty-
them from map completion. You have a chance of getting them
there's a
from
chance
map
from map.
completion as well. So
There's a few different
not
ways,
too
but
bad
it's
of a
kind
chance
of just
actually.
yeah.
The chance isn't like
had
super
a few from
high,
that.
but you definitely, if you do a full map completion, you'll definitely see a few keys within that.
yeah.
region.
So yeah, incentive
They
needs to
could-
be added. Some kind of rotation. I kind of saw this Brew of the Month Club as being like something monthly to keep people coming back, like if however teeny tiny small it is. I think they need more monthly things that they could do, even if it doesn't involve creating new skins. Like I said, it doesn't have to be new skins. It could be just we've added this mini set in there, and oh, there's one mini set that I'm missing. Maybe I'll get it from the Black Lion chest, you know. So
like an outfit that can drop or anything, like
right.
I suppose that's bad because what if you already have the outfit?
Aetherized weapon skins were added to Fractal.
That's true. Yeah,
I think in the daily boxes. I'm not. I've never seen one, so I don't know exactly what it drops from. But they have added those to Fractals, which is
I got
cool.
a longbow at the end of the Jaden Moore a couple of months back. So yeah.
So yeah, I think that some of these old skins. I mean, let's face it. Some of these old skins cost 3 tickets, 5 tickets, whatever. And unless you really save up, are you really going to be spending them on those, or are you just going to wait for the newest set to spend your 1 ticket or whatever that you have? I'm sure some people do save up and get them and whatever, but you know, there's so many Black Lion weapon skins at this point that adding them, sprinkling them in every now and again into content to freshen it up. And I realize you're just replaying old content, but it will definitely drive people to play that content and re-experience it.
Yeah.
With those rewards.
Absolutely. Put a glider. Put a Black Lion glider into the chests. Very, very rare drop.
That'd be good. But a glider in the game for us to earn.
Well, I guess that's not technically in the game since you're still buying keys. Keys are earnable in game, but
then anything is, right? If you have enough
right. Yeah, if you just farm the gold, you can buy anything on the trading post.
True.
All right, so there is a known issue tracker that is has been made public. Cool. Here is the link. I will throw it in here. I'll throw it in the description of the YouTube video. You can go there and see all of the known issues in the game, bugs and issues, and it even gives you a like a status report of like what are they in final testing? Is it known but they haven't started testing on it? Has it been fixed but it needs to go into testing? So it kind of gives you, you know, if there's a known issue that you've been having, you can actually go through that list and see if it's on there and say, oh, they're working on it. So I think it's just, I don't know, I see it as another good guy ArenaNet, you know, making this public, letting them, being very transparent about what they're working on.
Fantastic. I will say there are there's a couple of caveats that is listed on that page. You should definitely read to see what is included, what's not included. And these are a current list of issues. So if there was an old bug or a bug that's been around for a while, you may not see it on the list. And over on the forums and on Reddit, there's someone from ArenaNet. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, Awesomeness or something, that is actually like spearheading or taking care of this list. So they take complaints from Reddit and the forums and compile it into this bug list, as well as they look at the most popular or the most populated like bug reports. So, you know, if something is a bug report and maybe it hasn't been fixed in a while, then you should definitely report it so that it gets, you know, so that it gets fresh eyes on it and then gets added to this list. This is definitely something that I think players have been sort of asking for a while. This is the sort of a transparency that says, okay, this is the known issues. We're looking at it. We're investigating it. We're working on it. And then it even has a list of like most recent things that have been fixed, so you can see when something has been fixed. It also tells you at the bottom of the page the last time the page has been updated, so you can see like how current the page actually is. And I looked at it like yesterday, and it was March 3rd was like the most current day. So obviously, because it's so new, this is something that's getting looked at frequently, getting updated frequently, and it gives you a decent, I think, indication on what they're investigating, what they're working on. And, you know, it's not going to give you any definitive dates on when something will be fixed, but at least you know that it's on their radar and that they're at least looking into the problem itself.
There's a few different statuses beside them as well. There's investigating, and then verifying, and then final testing. So you can kind of you can see kind of roughly, you know, whereabouts they are in the fix and stuff.
But I think it's a good idea because you know, there are things that do get missed in QA, and you know, because of the way that some people play the game, you know, you've got people who try and jump out of maps and do all other kinds of crazy stuff. They're gonna, you know, come into contact with bugs that, you know, a large percentage of the player base might not necessarily come up against. You know, doing your daily fractal or whatever. So I think it is a good idea, and like Inks was saying, it provides that transparency, but it also transfers a little bit of accountability back to ArenaNet. Now that someone, you know, yeah, it might have been. There are so many things that started off as like someone's project in their spare time. Like I think what Super Adventure Box started off as somebody just messing around with a map before it actually became, oh, this could be a pretty cool thing. If it's got to the point where someone's kind of pet project has made it onto the main Guild Wars 2 site, it's something that somebody fairly high up actually wants to take seriously. So I don't see them neglecting it. And just kind of letting it fall by the wayside. I hope in 6 months' time they're still updating it.
Yeah. Well, the community reaction to it has been so positive.
It's been amazing.
I don't see how they could let it slide.
Yeah, I don't know why they would. It's just a good... And like you said, the transparency, a lot of people have had this problem with ArenaNet where it's just all in the unknown, right? We don't know what they're working on, what the plans are. We're just kind of left in the silence. And this at least lets people know that they're not just sitting around doing nothing. You know, and it also stresses the importance of reporting. I think a lot of people forget that, like, we're all responsible for reporting anything that we see that needs to be fixed, right? And in a way, we're looking after the game that we like playing, and I don't know. I think a lot of people just don't bother. They'll see something and they'll complain about it. Oh, this game's this and that, rather than actually trying to help and report stuff and let stuff be known. To make a video about it, take a screenshot, you know, share it around so they know and they can fix it. You know, the same way you would report a crime, you should report bugs, basically.
What's interesting about that too is because this has like different degrees of investigating and working on whatever the different tiers are. Hopefully, I don't know whether this will actually be true or not, but I think that a lot of times when you experience and I know I definitely feel this way, when you experience a bug in the game, players often take like the CSI effect, is what I like to call it, because the bug happens to them, they report it, and then they just think that overnight it's going to be fixed, right? You watch CSI, and so you believe like, oh, the fingerprint analysis is just done like that, and the crime is solved in an hour, and in real life it doesn't happen that way. Like, you know, DNA testing can take months and whatever. So, like, you know, game bugs are the same way. Yes, you experience the game bug, but trying to replicate it and trying to find out what causes the bug and how to fix the bug, you know, depending on what it is, can take a long time. And I think that as players, you know, I definitely fall victim to this, where you forget, you know, how long that can take, especially if it's something that's blocking your progress. Like, blocking progress is obviously going to take higher priority than you know, something a little less mundane. But and someone also said in the chat, like, don't assume that someone else has reported it, you know, like, someone else has probably done it, because the way they'll look at bugs as well is the more reports they have, the more urgent, you know, and the more it's going to appear, and it's going to get focused on more. So if anything, even if you know for a fact someone else has reported it, you should still report it as well, right? Because that's just going to make it more likely that it gets seen to and fixed sooner. One person reporting something probably isn't going to get looked at very quickly anyway.
Right.
Yep. The more you report it, the more you report bugs, or the more often a bug is reported, the more likely it is to get looked at and fixed quicker.
Yeah.
Plus, they have to go through false reports. I can't, like...
Or fringe cases.
Yeah, yeah.
Which it says, like, on the list, if it's a fringe case of something, then it's not likely you'll see it on the list right away.
Yeah.
So just keep
People
that in
using
mind.
the bug report just to complain about something, you know, this is too
Or
expensive,
someone.
or someone.
You know, I actually have a question, which I don't know whether this is intentional or not, but totally a minor thing, but tier 3 culture armor for Azura, the light armor, the shoulders don't
Shoulders.
show.
Yeah.
They never have. And like if you wear the chest piece, you'll see the actual shoulders the armor set's supposed to have. But if you put on a different pair of shoulders and you can click hide, you can click show, whatever the case is, you never see those shoulders. And I think it's because of the power arm. But I don't know whether that's intentional or if that's a bug
I
that's
have
been there
no
forever.
idea. I mean, because I kind of assumed that the little strips over the shoulder that were part of the chest piece were the
Culture.
yeah, with the culture things. But then, like you were saying, I started clicking on the hide thing and trying to switch the shoulders around, and yeah, they're not there. And that's
Can't
been there
hide
for
shoulders. You can't put any other shoulders you put on there. I don't know about the bat or the snowflake because I don't own those. But any other shoulder piece you put on there won't show up on that armor set. Now, if you take the chest piece off, then your shoulders show up. So it's tied to the chest
There's a couple
piece.
of things I think I've seen like that.
But
Kind
I
of
don't
like
know if that's
the
intentional because
the
of,
light
like,
armor,
power glove or whatever. Or
the
is
light
that
armor
actually a bug?
dungeon set that the Citadel of Flame ones, like the legs in that one are kind of attached to the chest piece. So if you take the chest off, it's like you can see it, but otherwise it kind of uses the slightly different model. I think there's maybe a Sylvari one where the shoulders don't show as well. I'm not too sure.
Some of the Sylvari stuff is so tiny that you barely even see it.
That you can't really see.
By the way,
It
welcome
sounds
to everyone
maybe
on
like
the Guild
it's a
Wars 2
design
channel.
thing.
Thank you so much
Oh.
to Guild Wars 2 for the host. Welcome to GuildGab, everybody.
Hi. Oh,
We are
Hello.
chatting up Guild Wars 2, so if you guys have any questions or discussion topics on Guild Wars 2, come over into this channel and type it in the chat. Say hello. Welcome, everybody.
Welcome. So that's pretty interesting. Chat over here is telling us Dutak and Elixir Guild Wars 2 is saying that the Winter's Day presents, the Snow Shoulders, and Night Fury do show up on those the Asura Tier 3 light culture armor. So that's really interesting then, because the effects do work, but you can't see any other shoulder with that armor set.
I wonder if it's a design.
Everybody
choice.
get in game right now and report it.
yeah.
Well, I don't
Bump it
like
to the
that.
top of the queue.
This is what I'm saying. Like, I don't know that that's actually a bug. I think it might actually be intentional.
Yeah.
I'm just not sure. I don't know.
I've
It's
heard
been that way
multiple
since
people
launch.
be confused about that, though. So
Right.
I doubt that it wouldn't work just like every other, especially because the other cultural armors don't work like that. So I would doubt that like one single set would have a strange
A very
effect like that.
specific.
Yeah, it doesn't. I think it weird that that's something that's been in the game since launch though, and hasn't.
Yeah,
been.
well, like I said, because of that power armor, whatever arm it is that's on that thing, that arm piece is going to clip with just about every shoulder piece in the game, just about. There might be some that don't, but it's going to clip with almost everything else. So maybe that's why they just don't show. I like I said,
To
I
be
don't.
fair, it's a pretty cool power arm to have.
I mean, the set itself is cool. I like the
Yeah,
set.
it's the only
so-
reason I've got an Azura Elementalist. It was to have that armor. It's like, yeah.
Into the viewer questions, Romo SSJ5 on Twitter had a really good question. What do you guys think of the current state of experience? So when you max out your mastery track, you play your level 80, and you just don't get experience anymore because
No,
all your
it doesn't
masteries, it doesn't go anywhere. It's not going towards anything. It's not filling up a bar. It's just kind of stagnant. So what's your take on that, and what do you think could be a solution?
I would
Just
think
go
that
back to-
any. I was
Just
gonna
get
say,
a
I would.
spirit shard or something every level.
I would think whoever has played any RPG in their life before and has hit the level cap is kind of accepting of the fact that there comes a point where you stop earning experience. I mean, even if you think about it, it's like if you've got 163 mastery points, and let's say that they said, right, so the last one that you've probably maxed out is Adrenal Mushrooms, which costs 12 or 14 mastery points or whatever, and however X million experience you have to earn to fill up that bar again. It's like, to me, it's just not worth it. It's just like, you get spirit shards from doing your dailies, you get spirit shards from level 80 mobs. It's to me, it's just not a big deal that I don't see a bar fill up infinitesimally slowly across the bottom of my screen.
But it's always
And-
been like that, Alex. It used to be like that.
You
You just want to
Yeah.
go back to the good old days, you know?
Yeah, but like, the only reason people like kind of got skill points was so that they could chuck in things to make, the anomaly and turn a quick buck. It's like I say, because there's other ways of earning that kind of thing. To me, it's not that huge a deal.
It wouldn't be, and that's the thing, is that giving another spirit shard per whatever the experience would go back to, because you're trying to earn millions of experience by the time you're maxing out a mastery track. Now, I don't know if it would go back to what you would normally need to get to level 80, or if it would be like every million, your bar would fill up once you're, mastery 163. But even just giving you like one spirit shard or maybe a couple, it's still something.
It's something.
And
they should
I
give spirit shards more use anyway, to be honest. They kind of feel a bit pointless. Everyone has hundreds or thousands of them.
Yeah.
Oh,
Better
well,
than
Depends on
players
what you're
anyway.
making. Depends on what you're making. If you're making this high-end stuff all the time, then
Yeah,
you're
that's true.
spending them.
If you
Maybe
have to put such
every million or 2 million or something, you just get like a gold.
There's
You know,
there's
that
another
encourages
there's
people to. It encourages people to play, and to get
gold.
XP, and to
Yeah.
help people
Well,
out.
I don't think they want to put
Well,
more money into the
No.
economy. I
Not
would.
gonna
I
happen.
Or
think
maybe
that's-
every time you
they-
level up, they take
do it.
gold away
transmutation charge.
Ooh, like a random item. They could be transmutation charges, a spirit shard, maybe
You
a
get a
black
chest.
lion key, a very rare chance for a black lion key. You get like a random little pop-up chest, for every million experience after you max your masteries, so that it, like you said, like it goes somewhere. I think I don't want the issue to be someone like me, I'm not going to be maxing out my mastery tracks for a while, so all my experience is still going somewhere. But there's people who had their mastery tracks maxed out, a week after Heart of Thorns. Well, that's your fault for doing that, first of
Yeah.
all. I think that whenever they add more mastery tracks, people are going to say, well, I've earned all this experience after maxing out my mastery tracks and it
That's
went
a good
nowhere,
point.
so I should have them all instantly unlocked. No. So that if you are continuously earning experience for this item, this random item, even if it's something small, like a transmutation charge, then at least that experience is going towards something, and so then they don't feel like it's going just into the mists,
Into
going
nothing.
nowhere.
Yeah.
Okay, so what happens when they introduce new mastery tracks? Do you reset that line, or where does that experience go?
Wherever you are, remember when the mastery track came out, however much experience, if that bar was halfway filled up, you had 500,000, then when it came out, then that will go towards the mastery, I think.
There's a bit of a-
there was people who strategically waited, they got their bar all the way up, but didn't
I totally
quite take
did.
over, and then logged into every character and got all that experience. So that could, that would
The
be
day
strategy.
before Heart of Thorns launch, I made sure that I was right this close to leveling, and so that when I popped over, instant level the first track.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just going to happen. But there is there's probably a coding problem, or there is a problem that will cause bugs. Now, this isn't to say that, ArenaNet couldn't fix this, but 163 is the max, but if you don't raid, then that's not your max, right? So it causes this problem that every new raid wing that comes out, or when a new expansion comes out and we add new mastery tracks, how do you determine, like, I can just see that there's going to be a conflict there. That
Yeah, that's
some
kind of
people
a
are going to hit 161, and then that's it. They're going to start accumulating these chests or transmutation charge or whatever that reward is. Where if you go into the raid and you kill that first boss, it's going to unlock that new mastery track, and then you're going to start leveling the mastery track again. And I'm not so concerned about like where your experience bar is or isn't in relation to the track itself, but I just can see there being a problem with the game recognizing when those tracks turn on and off.
Yeah.
Now, I'm sure there's a solution that I'm just not, obviously I'm not seeing. There's probably a way to check and uncheck when you're learning a mastery track. But then that raises the question, do I level the mastery track, or is there a way I can turn it off to get my reward? Now I know what you're saying. Like, okay, you've hit max. You're at 161. You never raid. You never will raid. So now you start accumulating those chests. That's great. But like, what happens a year down the road? And you're like, well, you know what? Maybe I was wrong, and I should totally try raiding. And now you unlock those tracks. I just think there's a bug waiting to happen there. That's not to say that you shouldn't do this or that you shouldn't get experience. Just that, like, that's a possible pitfall that's probably going to happen.
Yeah, that's a good point.
When you install that kind of thing.
I've got to be honest. I honestly don't think it's worth it. Like having an item at the end. I don't know. I mean, to me, there's always been a finality about progressing an RPG character, and even though I know that MMOs are perhaps a bad arena to be discussing an end progression to your character, especially when the subsequent expansion is going to be coming out. Just because we've reached the end and the game hasn't finished releasing content yet, I don't think that's a justifiable enough reason to just go, oh, let's just give you an extra thing for every 3 million experience points you have or whatever. But that's just where I'm coming from. I can certainly understand the arguments that that everyone else is putting forward, and I think I am very much in the minority on my thinking. And like Alaska says in chat, I'm probably coming at it from a single player RPG angle. But hey, that's just me. That is just me.
I mean, I'm kind of, I get that. I think I'm kind of right in the middle. I don't mind the fact that that just kind of stops. It makes sense. There's nothing else to work towards. But then if I can also see that maybe if they were to add something, or even if you just got an extra chest with like one of the map rewards in it, it maybe encourage some people who are, or help people out if they're working towards something, or if they're getting like little rewards or material or something that can, give them a little bit of gold. Maybe people would spend more time in because once you've got all the masteries and you've kind of, by that point you've spent a lot of time in the new maps, you've kind of probably already got everything you want. If it added to that and maybe gave you a way to make some gold or get some mats or something, it would maybe encourage people to play around and do events, because there's still something for them to eventually reach. But at the same time, it's not something I personally mind.
Here's the thing that people have just mentioned in chat. Tomes of knowledge. What happens to them? Because now if you bring this in and you now have the option to complete a complete a level up using a tome of knowledge, you get to the end of that, you get your chest, and however many you have, you can keep using them. But that's kind of my point. As the way that the system stands at the moment, you use your tome of knowledge, you get your spirit shard. But if you can continue leveling to get rewards, I would assume that I think it would be I'd assume they'd make it so that tomes of knowledge wouldn't affect that. But then
it'd be the same way masteries work. You can't use tomes to get masteries.
But then the thing is, if we're talking about getting a spirit shard at the end of this, you get a spirit shard for trading in your tome of knowledge anyway.
Right.
Spirit shards.
It just confuses.
No, it's just something extra. I see it as it would just be something extra so that your experience isn't going nowhere.
Black Lion Key. And then, we've solved all the things we were talking about today.
No, I just want to make it clear to chat, I am fully aware that what tomes of knowledge affect and what they don't affect. My point is that if you open up the earning of experience down into that bar again, the tomes of knowledge will end. If the tomes of knowledge have effect on that, I think that's a very, very serious problem, especially considering that you get tomes of knowledge in your daily login rewards anyway.
Yeah, no, it's just...
PvP.
It'd be the same. It wouldn't affect that. It wouldn't be a normal leveling bar. It would be your end game leveling.
Maybe they just make it a mastery, right? You go to your mastery section, and there's one that's like repeatable.
Right.
And that's just the kind of thing you can just do, and you can do it over and over again. Like this.
Yeah, players
like
have definitely talked
track,
about a repeatable mastery track that you don't really put a point into, but you just keep, you keep
going round and round, and at least it's something extra that happens in the background, kind of thing.
See, something like that could work. That sounds all right, because you've got that for various bits and pieces anyway, like Agent of Entropy and
reward tracks in PvP. It's kind of similar.
PvP reward tracks, Dungeon Hobby Master, that kind of thing.
It's really not like, I don't think it's too big of an issue. And unfortunately, I don't think that if it was just easy for ArenaNet to revert it back to you giving spirit shards, they probably would just do that. Something tells me it's just not that simple where they can just say, okay, we'll just do this now. It's probably that system probably doesn't work anymore because of masteries and stuff. So then the question becomes, do you want them spending development time on what to do with extra experience when you hit 80, when it seems to be a fairly non-issue for most people? Like, most people say, yeah, it would be cool if this happened, but it doesn't really bother me that much. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Indeed. All right, Alaska Winter asks, what is your take on AFK fighting, such as been noticing a ranger sitting AFK while their pets fight and they have auto loot?
They should just delete ranger.
Wow.
Oh my.
Said the
I said
necromancer. Hey,
Should
get
definitely
the
delete minions,
necromancer.
best
that's for
class.
sure.
And the necromancer. I have a minion master, guys. And I can have my therapist.
No one uses.
I can have a fifth
no one-
going.
I disagree with
This
you.
is
They
bullying,
definitely
Alex.
use minions.
Gonna have a bone phase. I'm gonna have fun and high level PvP. And it's gonna be such a good time.
What rank? What division are you in PvP right now, Alex?
I'm in a division of my own.
Is that because no one will play with you?
You don't need to. You
He,
can
he solo queues and just says, nope, error.
To be honest, like, eventually, I mean, what? So, talking of like in low level maps, like, I guess eventually you're just gonna run out of mobs to kill, and again, it seems kind of a relatively petty thing for someone to kind of AFK with a pet and be in a place where they can literally just leave it, where there's mobs spawning all the time, and that they can actually survive without having to do anything at all. Because as much as we kind of, poke fun at, Core Tyrion not having any challenging content or whatever, it's like you do actually need to input sometimes to actually get that content done. So I don't think it's a particularly big issue. Having said that, it's not something that I've tried doing on my Ranger, so
Yeah.
I didn't even know people did it, to be honest.
I didn't know
Yeah.
people did it purposefully. I've heard of people. There used to be an issue with rangers going AFK in the Silver Wastes and people
Yeah,
getting
in Silver
banned
Wastes.
for.
You could just stand
doing
around
that.
and your pet would take part in
And you would get the
various
event,
events of camp, and you could
or-
just stay there.
I just
and-
think if you go AFK for more than 5 minutes, your pet should be stowed, and then that you just come back and you're dead. Your pet runs away. It's like, my master's not moving. It gets sad. It starts crying.
Yeah, bare bone.
But then it's like, I don't know, like if you're doing stuff like, sorting your inventory, or you go and get a drink or something, like, and you're just standing there and your pet does stuff, that's kind of fine, right? But I guess people are pushing it too far and spending hours, moving just so they don't get kicked. And then if that's how the game works, is it really an exploit? They're not doing anything. They're just letting the game do its thing. So is that really bannable?
I don't think so.
No, it's not bannable. It's just a
Cheap as hell.
It's a
but
cheap thing
but
to do is
technically
what
it's
it
not like-
is.
yeah.
You're just
But
kind of
like Brazil's just said in chat, people do it with turret engineers and minion
Yeah.
necros
Minion.
as well. So, like, there are plenty of ways to kind of get a bit of an edge over other people if you're playing particular classes. But in terms of it
Come
being
on. It's like, if you're
in
doing
terms
that,
of being
come
an
on.
exploit, you can,
it's not,
dropping
I
a
wouldn't say it's an
dropping a
exploit.
turret in a particular place in the game isn't an exploit, unless you're like dropping it on top of the skybox or something, when in that case it probably is. But if you're dropping it in like anywhere on a map that you're supposed to be able to get to, no, it's not an exploit. It's just there.
Standing still isn't an exploit either. Like doing
Right.
that's fine. That's normal. And if the game's AI is doing something, then that's just how it is. I can understand it's frustrating that people are actively doing stuff and taking part in events, and this guy is doing nothing and basically getting the same result.
Actually,
It's annoying to see. It's not
how
fair,
does it-
right? But I don't know why it's.
how does it
doesn't
work in
seem
Heart
like
of Thorns
it.
if you try this and you go AFK, does it discount you from the event?
You should still get participation if you're in combat.
What, even if it's like a turret or a pet or a minion?
Yeah, because you're still in combat. You don't get kicked if you're in combat from the game, and you'll still be taking part in an event, so your participation will stay the same.
Yeah.
Which obviously sucks, right? Because they're not actually participating at all.
Yeah.
But I don't know, maybe there's a way they could fix it or something, but I don't know how they'd go about it. So.
The only way you can do it is for your pet, turrets, minions, whatever, to not give you participation credit. But I don't know.
Right.
I think that's a very slippery.
Right, exactly. Slippery
It
slope.
really is. I haven't noticed enough people doing it that, like, I don't just go to an event, like to a place in Verdant Brink and just see 50 Rangers just standing there, you know? Now, if that comes to be the case, then they might
I definitely
do
notice
about it.
engineers doing it from time to time. You'll see them plop down all their turrets. That's a little more noticeable than a pet doing it, I think. But
Right.
I don't know. I don't think it's...
Then there's time when people genuinely go AFK. Like I said, I've done it in Silver Waste. I've genuinely gone AFK, and then I came back and was like, oh, shoot. You know, I was like, crap, you're not supposed to do this in the Silver Waste.
Yeah, but it's not like people don't go AFK on the world bosses, do they? It's, you know, like, you go and fight the Frozen Maw, oh, that's a lovely ringtone.
Oh, isn't it?
I go and fight the Frozen Maw, and I go and make a cup of tea.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If it's how the game works and you're not doing anything like illegal in the terms of use or whatever, then there's nothing wrong with it. It's just a bit cheap. And to be honest, I think I can imagine the people who are AFK and doing that, yeah, they're going to get rewards for basically doing nothing. But if you're active, I'm sure you're going to get more rewards. You know, it's going to still be more worth your while to be involved.
And isn't playing the game a reward itself?
That's right.
It's the journey. It's not the end goal.
Sure, if you say so.
But unless your end goal is the Molten Jetpack, then...
Yeah.
Then good luck to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh dear. All right, guys, that is where we're going to end the show, but don't go anywhere. We'll be back in 30 seconds for the post-show here live on Twitch. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're watching on YouTube, go down into the description and check out all of the links to our channels for more Guild Wars 2 content. And join us here every single Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time for live GuildGab. Thank you guys for watching. See you next time. Take care. Bye!
Bye-bye!
See ya!